Hello, I'm Danny,
And I'm Jake.
and this is Marvel Talk. Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Marvel Talk. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but we're going to break it down into 2 episodes, just mainly due to time constraints, but that's okay, man. That just means more Marvel Talk for the month, right?
Yeah. Gonna get a couple episodes in a row, baby.
We'll get that second episode to you guys sooner than this one did. Mainly busy on our ends with scheduling and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, big life stuff happened this past month, but
Yeah. But before we kick off, we did get an email.
oh, we got an email. Tight.
And as always, you could send those to marveltalkpodcast@gmail.com. And this is from the boy Mark here. He says, when we talked about Loki, I guess we forgot to mention that Kang's showing up in Ant-Man 3, and that'll probably be a different interpretation of Kang than what we got in Loki.
Yeah.
He just wanted to point that out, that since we're saying, like, oh, we like this version of him from Loki, and hoping that we get to see that one again in season 2, but yeah, we're already going to see a different version probably before season 2 drops.
Yeah, I have a feeling Kang will probably be a pretty pervasive character in some of these Marvel movies coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in, like, whatever Captain Marvel 2 is. He might show up in that. But other than Ant-Man, I don't know really what else he would pop up in other than those two.
Excuse me, maybe a tease for post-credit for No Way Home?
Maybe that's how they'll do him. Like, he'll be like the Thanos of this generation, so he'll be like in a lot of post-credit scenes.
Because he's a big deal in the comics too, right?
Yeah, Kang the Conqueror is like one of the main Avengers villains in the comic books. I could see him being like the cameo guy for a minute. Like, he'll just kind of be at the ends of movies, and then Ant-Man will be like the big one he's in, kind of similar to how like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was like Thanos' big movie, because he was like actually in it. So maybe it'll be similar to that.
Yeah, I could see something like that. So cool. Yeah, he just wanted to point that out. Thank you for the email, man.
Thanks for letting us know, man. Always love getting those user questions, man.
So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. We're hitting the main topics. So we got some trailers, What If, and then, of course, Shang-Chi dropped.
I think I want to go with the Hawkeye trailer first.
Okay.
Because I don't really have as much to say about that one. It's a Christmas show. 10 out of 10. That's it. That's my review. I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's perfect. I love that the plot is Hawkeye has to get home for Christmas.
Yes.
That's it. It's great.
Yeah.
I hope this is a lot more lighthearted than the most recent Marvel shows we've gotten, because everything's been very dramatic, I feel. Loki had a little bit more lighthearted of a tone at the beginning, but then it kind of descended into sadness and depression by the end of the series. So if Hawkeye can be the one show that just gets to be a fun time, I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, I will say, at the beginning of the trailer, when it said that he was still wanted, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, so we're going with this route. But it's actually not him, right? It's Ronin, the persona that he created. I was like, okay, that changes things up. I like that.
Which I thought was an interesting twist to make Kate Bishop a fan of Ronin rather than Hawkeye himself, right?
Yeah.
She knows who he is, but dons the Ronin persona as opposed to the Hawkeye one at first, which I think is kind of interesting.
Maybe it has something to do with her backstory, right? During the 5-year gap, maybe Ronin saved her or something, and
oh, that could be.
And like she obviously agrees that, like, yeah, let's just take out all the bad guys.
If the action is solid, I don't really know what to expect from like a Hawkeye TV show, I guess. Just that it's going to be probably pretty fun.
Maybe a bunch of espionage stuff going on, and
yeah, like maybe more espionage-y type stuff than we got in, say, the Black Widow movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd like that. That would be pretty cool. You think Nick Fury will show up?
It'd be interesting if he did. I mean, with him being in space and all, I don't know.
It would be interesting if they had some type of setup for Secret Wars in this show. That would be kind of neat. Oh, what if Kate Bishop's a Skrull? What a twist! What a twist!
I'm curious to see whenever Yelena's gonna show up in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Right, unless she's the one like that's sending these people after Ronin, maybe, because they do know that's Right at the post-credit scene of Black Widow, that's when she finds out that he's the reason why.
About him being the reason she died, supposedly. Even though it's not true, technically. Is it the same actors playing his kids?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you think? I have no idea. I barely remember them from the other movie. So, from Age of Ultron.
Well, in Endgame, I think we saw them too, right? We saw them at the funeral
Yeah,
scene.
like right at the beginning of it, I think.
That too, yeah. I wouldn't say why not. I mean, if they're going to bring the kid from Iron Man 3 back.
Yeah.
From what we've noticed for the past few films too, that they like to bring very minor characters back for the films. So I don't see why not.
Yeah. If they're all the same actors and stuff, that would be neat. Oh, one of the things I thought was kind of silly was the the Steve Rogers musical.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I think I'd be okay with it if it's about his upbringing in First Avenger.
Yeah, but it's all about him with the Avengers. Like, there's really crappy costumes of, like, a bunch of different... Like, there's a bad, like, Thor and a Loki, and, like, Hawkeye's up on the top level.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't want to say embarrassing, but, like, this looks so bad. And maybe that's the point? I don't know.
It was, yeah, maybe, like, over-the-top cheesy.
Yeah, like, they have, like, the silly Chitauri costumes here. Iron Man is just a guy with a jacket and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Actually, they're all kind of like that. Who's the scientist guy behind?
Yeah, that's what I was looking
Captain
at
America
too.
dude. Who's the other guy with the I Love New York? Who's this dude? This is weird. It's one thing to have like the scene in Thor Ragnarok where they're doing like the play or whatever,
right? Because
like that makes more sense for that world for them to have that in there. With this one, it's a little weirder. I don't know. Vera Farmiga's in this. I don't know if you know who that lady is.
No.
She's in, like, the Conjuring movies. I thought it was interesting that she's going to be in this. You just see her for, like, a second right before the musical bit. She's, like, the lady with the bob haircut. Yeah, like, raising the wine glass right there. So that could be kind of interesting if she's, like, a villain or something. That's what I'd imagine her being in this show. I love that you see the dog. Like, they have his dog from the comic books, so that's really cool. Oh, that's
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the bit where he tells her to shoot the super dangerous arrow, and it's, like, really hardcore date. Like, it blows the thing up. This will be a fun one, I think.
Yeah, I think so, too. I'm pretty sure, like, the musical stuff, well, they're just going to be poking fun at it, right? If he's taking his family to go see it.
Yeah, something like that.
So nice, man. I'm looking more forward to this show than I thought I would. Also because, like, I think the main thing, right, with it being a Christmas show as well, like you said, that's going to add that element to it.
A lot more happy going, I hope.
Yeah.
If this doesn't have a happy ending and they make it sad, I'm going to be bummed. But hopefully happy endings. That's all I want.
November 24th is when it's going to come out, and of course, one episode a week. The other big trailer that we got actually got leaked, and then they just decided to drop it. Spider-Man No Way Home.
I thought it was interesting how the leak worked out, because it leaked with, like, unfinished CGI stuff, and now this one's, like, just a fully finished trailer.
Yeah, it reminded me of Little X-Men Origins right there.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if that leak's real. I don't know if it's legit. You know what I mean? There's like this whole fiasco where it's like, oh, a visual effects editor released it on their phone onto Reddit or whatever. And I'm like, sure they did, Disney. You're not just building hype for this movie. Who else was a visual effects editor that leaked footage? Mysterio? Come on now. It all feels like it's a part of the marketing campaign.
Well, it's also weird, right? Because this is one of the leakiest movies. Like, I don't even remember last time, like, we've known so much about a movie before we even got the trailer.
Yeah. I think it's just because people have just been so chomping at the bit to find out what the heck is happening in this. I don't know. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, and then plus we got the recent leak that was it's basically just an HD video of some behind-the-scenes stuff with an actor who keeps denying he's not in this movie.
Yeah, and the hand of probably another actor who has also not confirmed that he is in the film.
Yeah.
And then there's another angle of that same shot in a different photo that's a little bit lower quality, but it's definitely those two actors on the set of the film. I don't know what else this would be for if they were shooting it at some point. I don't know what else they would be shooting in the costumes that they're in.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. If you want to look it up, go look it up. You can look it up with Spider-Man No Way Home leaks. It's all out there.
Because see, I was trying to think too with the HD video of the first actor. I was thinking, well, maybe that was in the other movie, but looking at the suit, I'm like, no, it does look different. Design wise, like towards where like the forearm area, it's different for sure.
Yep.
So he's got a new suit,
which is pretty neat, and he looks just older and like a little more like experienced and stuff. He's got the 5 o'clock shadow going on. Yeah, it's definitely new footage. Part of me was like, could it be a cosplayer that they took a picture of and photoshopped around? But I don't know. I don't think it is. It's pretty interesting. And then there's those other leaked pictures of some actors who are playing villains.
Yes.
You know, and those are definitely new photos of all three of those people. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's just pretty crazy.
This movie's shaping up to be a crazy one. I hope it's on track to release when it comes out, because this trailer broke the views in one day that Endgame had or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, crazy. I think that's nuts. And to put it into perspective, this has 66 million views and the Eternals has 23 million views. Which one do you think people are going to watch more?
I mean, I forgot the Eternals had a new trailer, so...
They did. I don't even remember if I watched it.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know.
I don't really care about talking about it, so who cares?
Yeah, I think we've already said plenty of what we think about for Eternals.
Yeah. But the Spider-Man trailer, though, pretty neat.
Pulling a lot of Doctor Strange VFX in here.
My boy's back. Makes me very happy.
What did you think about the reasoning why everything's happening by Peter messing up the spell that Strange is doing so everyone can forget who Spider-Man is?
I like it. I dig the concept of it a lot because I think that he's trying to ultimately do a good thing. He's Peter Parker, so his emotions get in the way, like they always do.
Yeah.
And he messes it up, which, you know, that's a very younger Peter Parker thing to have happen. So I dig it. And honestly, this is also going to be the first movie where Peter Parker has to face some consequences for his actions. Like, wow, it took us till the third one, but he's finally having it happen.
I think the biggest thing was that he got away with the homecoming thing, where the ferry got split in half.
Yeah, he just gets away with it. Nothing happens. There's no news.
I guess
nothing.
because they wouldn't blame him because it was Vulture's tech that did it, and he was fighting them on the ferry, so maybe they wouldn't think it was his fault.
I'm just thinking about like the corner store getting blown up, and you know, nobody gets really that hurt or injured in his movies, and he doesn't have to deal with too much fallout.
I mean, I guess like what Tony said, right? Small scale. That's kind of what his films were.
Peter still deals with some of that stuff in the comics. He at least like acknowledges that he does things wrong, and in the other movies even like he has more consequences going on than in this one, or than in the first and second one. I'd say maybe the second one finally gives him some consequences because of him handing the glasses over, and then that causing the chain of events for Mysterio to gain some power. You know, that's a whole bit of it. But this one is definitely like Peter Parker does his Peter Parker thing and messes up really bad, which is great.
Oh, that was interesting that because he messed up the spell that would erase everyone's memory, that causes a multiversal reaction.
And, you know, Wong does tell Doctor Strange, he's like, hey, don't do it, man. Like, that's not a good idea. Because ultimately that is what Doctor Strange was trying to do, was alter the timeline, right? Like, he's trying to go back and take this one specific part of the events out of it. You know, I think that that's also just like a really dangerous thing to do, because Peter Parker's life is very different than it could be. And it would be interesting if the spell does end up working by the end, which allows him to just be like regular Spider-Man, like without the help of Tony Stark and stuff. So that could be kind of interesting.
Just rewatching the trailer, like I wonder how different of reaction he would have had if he revealed it at the end of Homecoming versus here, because those would be different circumstances, right? Because it would have been a press thing with Tony Stark versus here where it's like...
Yeah, he's being accused of murder.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, the biggest thing is all the teases of the potential villains in this movie.
We see a good old-fashioned Raimi pumpkin bomb. We hear the cackle. And then, you know, there's this other scene here where it's like there's some good old yellow lightning happening.
Yes, so it kind of ties into some of the leaks of that change of character.
Is that a leak? Because he confirmed he's in it.
Well, at least the image.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, the fact that, yeah, he also said that he was in here too, just...
Yeah. And then there's the weird shot of Peter turning around and being attacked by something big, and like a Doctor Strange style spell blocks it, whatever it is. It's just this big, massive monster thing. Which people have theorized could probably be the Lizard. But I've also heard the Scorpion is a possibility, because he was at the end of Homecoming.
Yeah, the big thing is Sinister Six for this movie, right?
Yeah. So either or, because Lizard and Scorpion have both been in the Sinister Six at some point in the comics. So you could go either way with it. And then, of course, we get the one and only Dr. Octopus, which I think is amazing. I'm way into it. I think he looks kind of weird. He's definitely been de-aged. His eyebrows are definitely colored in. And the only reason I say that he looks de-aged is because he's got a similar thing going on just around the neckline that Samuel L. Jackson had in Captain Marvel, where they didn't really show his neck. He had like a turtleneck the whole time, or like a really high collared shirt that was like buttoned and tied. And that's very similar to what this looks like here. So that way it's just the face that they're worrying about.
My thing with it was, like, at what point in the timelines did these villains get pulled from? Yeah, all the Spider-Man villains in Raimi and Webb's films, they all died, right?
Yeah, Lizard ended up dying on the roof. Dr. Octopus obviously got sunken with the Sun Collider deal. Goblin stabbed himself with the glider. And then... Electro exploded.
Yeah.
Like, the only one of the Sinister Six that didn't die was Sandman.
Yeah.
Which people have also rumored might be in this movie. Sandman might show up in this.
Yeah, there is a shot in the trailer where you see some sand flying around.
Yep. And it's the same shot with the lightning bolt stuff, so I'm like, team up between the two, maybe? I think it's interesting that there's this whole bit of Doctor Strange like chasing Spider-Man around the mirror dimension. I think that's odd, and it's like because they're fighting over like a box or something that he's carrying. Like you can see it when like Doctor Strange like punches him in the chest and knocks his astral form out. So whatever that thing is supposed to be, I don't know. Maybe that's the box that contains the spell?
Well, I'll say this. I think I told you for sure there was a leak for the script, supposedly. And I read it, and I kind of wasn't feeling what they were bringing up. And I'm like, I don't know if they're really going to do that. But after watching the trailer, I would say some of it is accurate from what we got out of the trailer. So whatever I read might be the case, which part of it is I hope not, because to me that just says Tom Holland's Spider-Man just doesn't grow as a character.
Oh, no. That's not good. I mean, okay. So, I'm down to hear about it, because I don't think I've read this leaked. Yeah, wow, that seems kind of silly. Like, what? Like, how would they be able to do that when they're definitely bad guys? I don't know. That's very strange.
Yeah, so I hope that part's not true.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah, a bunch of other leaks I saw, too, after the trailer came out, that kind of like... They were saying, like, look, the trailer confirmed these leaks. And I was like, well, I mean, only part of the leaks. The rest is kind of either what fans want to see or they're just coincidences type of deal. Like, you know, like I said, we know a lot about this movie, but I'm still waiting to just say, you know what, let's just wait and see.
I think that's kind of where I'm at on it. Like, I don't even know if I want to watch any more trailers for it if they put any more out. I think I'm just going to stop here. In terms of looking up stuff about the film. I think this is about as far as I'm going to go, because I want to be surprised by the rest of it.
And I will just to say real quick, it's not related to the trailer, but the fact that Jimmy Fallon brought up the leak photos was kind of crazy. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that video where Andrew Garfield was just told to deny by the guy sitting off to his left with the automatic rifle. Yeah. I don't know. I've seen like 2 videos now where one is like discounting it being real, like the HD video, and then I've seen another video that's like, no, it is real, and then and then like goes into detail about like how it is an actual video, and I was just like, I don't even know anymore, man. I don't want to worry about it.
Yeah, I assume we'll get at least one more for the Venom premiere.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
So, yeah, that was the trailer. It's dropping on the 17th of December. All right, that's it for the trailers for now anyways. We have more stuff to talk about, but again, that'll be for a different episode as we're focusing on mainly just the MCU. Let's just kick it off with Marvel's What If.
More like, what if this show was good? Oh! Whoa.
Yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster of quality here.
Yeah. I would say it's not a crazy roller coaster. There's only one peak. I don't know, but that's just for me personally. I don't know. I'm just gonna say overall right now, I have been pretty largely disappointed with What If. I think it's all great ideas, but I don't think any of them are executed in a good way, and I think it's all very cheaply done is how it feels. It feels very cheap.
Yes.
Which is a bummer, because this is a great concept for a show. And if these episodes were like 35 or 40 minutes each a piece, I think that would be like the sweet spot for it, and it would be amazing. But instead, we get 25-minute clip shows most of the time, and they're not super great. I think there's only one episode that's really made the concept of it like fit in that time frame really well. But the episode in question that I liked a lot is the one where all the Avengers get assassinated.
I think that's the 3rd episode, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because episode 1, Captain Carter won.
And then episode 2 was Black Panther, which...
Oh, that's the Star-Lord episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest freaking Gary Stu pile of junk I've ever watched. It's almost as bad as Ray, man. Goodness.
Yeah, that episode was I saw everybody was praising it. I think the only reason they praised it was because it was Chadwick Boseman voicing T'Challa,
which is great, and I don't mind that version of Star-Lord. Like T'Challa Star-Lord is cool.
Yeah, he's got that charisma, you know, he feels like a decent character.
Yep.
But it was just everything else in that episode was just rough.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, Drax wouldn't have the tattoos in this reality, but he still does.
Well, no, he would still have it, wouldn't he?
Would he?
We don't know how early he talked to Thanos, right?
Yeah, and I guess we don't know how long ago Thanos attacking Drax's world happens. But I have a really hard time believing that Drax wouldn't still want to kill Thanos in the bar and everything together. I'm like, no, I don't think that works. I don't think that one makes the connection too well. I did really like the idea that because Thanos was reformed, it left it open for the Collector to kind of take over. And I liked beefed up Collector. I thought he was cool. I dig that version of the character a lot. And they teased me so hard with Howard the Duck. I'm mad. I'm genuinely angry that he wasn't in more of it.
Yeah, he's just the cameo guy now, huh?
So bad. And not even like that much of a cameo guy. He's only been in like 3 things.
But man, yeah, that episode was just awful pacing. Right?
Oh yeah,
I think
terrible.
I was like, gosh, we need more time to flesh out these stories. After I watched it, I was like, man, I think I'm done with this show. It felt worse than Captain Carter.
Yeah, that episode was really rough. I like the post-credit teaser for it with Ego and stuff. Like, I thought that was kind of neat. Other than that, there's just nothing there. It's not enough time to explore all of the ideas of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I just also thought, I think this show, which is strange to say, is very much geared towards a very young audience, because these ideas are very quick-paced, and there's lots of jokes.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, man.
episode has many, many jokes.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Doctor Strange one yet, because, lots of stuff happened in life that kind of made me not want to check it out right away. I do want to check it out eventually. I don't know if that episode is as jokey. I've heard it's not because of what's happening in it, and that's kind of cool. I'm glad that that's like, with that character, that's the episode they take a little more seriously.
I mean, like, in the beginning, sure, because just like the beginning of Doctor Strange, he does have the jokes and stuff that he does, and it's the same here, but then there is a shift of what he's doing in that episode, and that does cause a shift in tone, and that's for the better. I'm kind of up in the air for that episode.
Okay.
There's a lot of cool ideas in there. Visually, there's some nice stuff.
I heard the big fight at the end is really cool looking. So that's cool. I guess I'll talk up to my favorite episode.
Yeah, which is actually episode 3, because and I was telling myself, like, I'll give the show one more episode. And if it's going to be the same thing, then I'm just going to call it quits. Luckily enough, it was What If the Avengers Got Assassinated? And that's a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it's not as jokey. There are still jokes here and there, but they're not anywhere near as obnoxious as the other episodes had been, and continue to be, also, I will say. This one takes itself pretty seriously. It's a really good mystery crime deal. Just great stuff all around. I really liked it a lot. And I loved the twist. The twist is so good. I didn't see it coming. I had no idea.
No, I didn't see it coming either.
I was not expecting it in any way. I was just like, whoa, that's a great twist. And I love that they don't give it away at the beginning of the episode. Like, what is the change in the universe to make this stuff start happening? Like, I love that it's a mystery, really well built up. I thought all the voice actors did a great job. I love the ending bit. I think it's really interesting. Like, the concept that because of what the main plot of the episode is, it just spins out of control, and Loki just like moves in and just takes over everything. Mm-hmm. And then Samuel L. Jackson's like, I need 2 captains. And I'm like, yes, that's great. Like, I loved that. And I was honestly like, that's the first time I think I've been legit hyped to see Captain Marvel in anything.
Yeah, exactly. The first death kind of made me iffy, because like, oh, just the way he died out, it felt comical. But I'm like, I guess that would be the only time to have it set up for Tony. Going through the rest of it, I'm like, actually, you know what, that was fine, because of how everything else is set up. And it makes sense, because I'm glad that they stuck to the whole thing of, the rest of all of phase 1 except Iron Man 1 was in the same week. It was weird to see, not weird, it bummed me out that we didn't get to see like Edward Norton's Hulk in this, right? Instead it was Mark Ruffalo, but I mean, it's not like they're gonna go back to Edward Norton for that scene, right? Or even want to do it. Right?
Yeah. What I thought was interesting was he kind of looked like a blend of the two, like Bruce Banner, because he was wearing all of Edward Norton's clothes, and he sort of had his haircut.
Yeah, that's what kind of made it weird for me.
And that was probably the most horrific part of the show so far, was that death. Horrible.
Yeah, and it added more to the mystery, because I kept thinking, like, well, what happened?
Like, who can kill the Hulk like that? And then when it does get explained, I'm like 100% makes sense. Like, that's crazy. So very interesting storyline, like all the way through. And I like the way that Clint Barton like accidentally does in Thor, but that's all just because somebody tapped his finger. I thought it was interesting that because Thor dies, like that, like Loki does become king. Like Sif and the Warriors 3 are like all on Loki's side. Like they're all just with him when they show up on Earth. This is all really interesting. And it's not like in your face. It's all like very subtle, like, oh, these are things that would just change in this way that would make sense.
Obviously, Loki's there for justice. Sif and everyone else would be on board for that.
Yeah, so that implies that Odin died, right?
I guess so, unless he's just taking it on behalf of Asgard.
Maybe, but he's got Gungnir.
True.
You know, like he's got the staff. So I don't know. That's a very interesting thing. Of all the episodes this season that I want like another episode of, it's definitely this one. Like I want to see where this one continues and goes in the future. I don't think I really care about too many of the other ones, seeing where they end up. But this one especially, I was like, yeah, I'd like to see what Captain America and Captain Marvel would do to fight off this crazy Asgardian invasion.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the main purpose for season 2.
Just make a bunch of sequel episodes to this season?
Yeah, because like we saw with the zombie episode, that also ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, like a big one. I don't like the zombie episode. I'm just going to say it. I don't think it's as good as everybody's saying it is. I don't know. It feels really nerfed in terms of what Marvel Zombies is supposed to be. This is a very, like, kid-friendly, sanitized version of it, and I don't like it.
Well, also the length, I think, affects it a lot, too.
Hey, you know what they could have just left out of the episode to make it more serious and also have more time for other content? Take out the dumb, stupid selfie camera zombie survival guide crap. I don't care. It doesn't make any sense that Peter Parker would still be this, like, he's still like a positive guy, I guess, but like, he's making super silly videos and stuff. Like, goodness.
But I think that's the point of the episode, especially at the end, right, where Hope is talking to him. It's like, how are you still this positive after everything that goes on? And, you know, he talks about everyone that's died in his life. And
yeah, that's true.
I thought you were going to say we could get rid of those awful jokes that they landed that are just like nods to the MCU, like when Bucky kills Steve and just says, looks like this is the end of your line, pal.
Oh yeah, all that stuff could go away. All of the joking from Bruce in the beginning of the episode could disappear. Bruce is totally nonplussed that Tony Stark is a zombie. You know, just his best friend on the whole planet, the only guy who cared about him and didn't see him as a monster, is now a zombie, and he just makes a joke about it. And he just says that they're gross. Okay.
Yeah, see, it's stuff like that with the writing that really sets me off with the What If.
Oh my god.
Because aside from the Avengers one, they all kind of feel like that, right? It's all the same type of humor, and most of it just doesn't land.
No, it's like the lowest common denominator humor for Marvel that they could do. Like, that's what it feels like.
And it also doesn't help because some of those jokes kind of kick up the pace a little bit too, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just doesn't really help the episode overall.
Mm-mm.
There's some stuff I liked in here. You know, with Peter getting the cloak, that was cool. Like we said before, that design looks great. Some of, like, I guess, like, quote, I guess you could say horror aspect to it with everybody getting taken out in the beginning. And also, like, the thing with Vision and Wanda, I thought was great.
Yeah, I liked that whole bit until Vision destroyed himself for no reason.
Because I thought he was going to fight her.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going to do. It's like, that's the thing that makes sense to do, is fight her and hold off the zombies until the other people can get on the plane, and then maybe rip the stone out of your forehead and throw it at him. You know? Like, there's other ways to accomplish what you want to do. And also, Vision just turns on a dime. It takes nothing to convince him that what he's done is wrong.
Yeah, again, pacing and just time restraints.
Yeah, I guess I sort of liked Paul Rudd having his head in a jar.
Well, I'm just glad to hear Paul Rudd.
Yeah, as Ant-Man, yep. T'Challa being fed to Wanda was a direct reference to the comic book, which I thought was really interesting. And I'm like, oh, they did the thing. Oh, that's dark. That's real dark. Okay. Because that does happen in the comic books, also. But I think it's Black Panther is being fed to zombies, like other zombies. I don't think he's being fed to Wanda zombie in particular. He's way worse off in the comic book. He's missing not just a leg, but also an arm. It's way worse. This one didn't go as far as that, but...
Oh, aside from Doctor Strange, which, I mean, we can talk about next time, whenever you watch it.
Yeah, I'd be down to save that one, because I kind of know what happens in it, but I kind of want to check it out at some point, because it sounds interesting.
That was another one that sort of, it feels like it's a cliffhanger just because of how it ends, and...
There's actually a new ad that is the mid-season sneak peek.
I didn't watch it. I just saw somebody pointed out that Peggy has a new suit, I guess.
She's got like a stealth outfit this time, which makes sense. She's got like the more S.H.I.E.L.D. based one because she's shown up in the present day with S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, there's a shot of Party Thor and evil Doctor Strange.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and then Thor saying zombies, great idea. So they're probably going to cross over at least 3 of them, if not 4. It looks like Captain Carter is, when she's in the big group shot, is... She's with Star-Lord T'Challa, and Party Thor is there, and then you got Thanos, Gamora, weird Black Widow.
Well, okay, so the last episode to just really talk about was the recent one, which is What If Killmonger Saved Tony Stark? I gotta say, man, the voice actor for Tony's really laying it thick.
Yeah, he's trying.
He's really trying. Yeah,
Yep.
A little too much to where I feel like it kind of ruins some of it.
Mm-hmm.
The obvious one, him doing the final line, right? I am Iron Man. He kind of just the way he does it. I'm like, oof, that doesn't land the same at all.
No,
like the pacing's all wrong, and
he doesn't even snap right. He just like clenches his fist.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's very strange. I was like, that's not how it works. He's got to snap his fingers.
Well, I did want to bring this up. I thought it was very dumb in the zombie episode was the end for that with Thanos.
Oh, yeah. That was nonsense. Like, why is he a zombie?
Yeah, and the fact that he has 4 Infinity Stones.
He has 5 of them.
Oh, was it 5?
Yeah, he's got all of them.
He's just missing the Soul Stone then.
Yeah,
or the Mind Stone.
Just the Mind Stone. That's the only one he needed. Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that was really dumb. I didn't understand that part. I'm like, either I guess Ebony Maw went back up to the ship and then that's how they got infected?
I guess, or Kroll did?
Or Thanos went down there when they didn't respond to the comms?
I guess.
Yeah, that part I was like, this is just silly.
I guess my whole thing with this episode is that, like, in the comic book, they make a big deal about them all still retaining a sense of identity while they're zombies. They just want to eat brains. Like, that's it. Like, that's the only difference.
Yeah, like, they still talk and everything,
yeah, they
right?
still have full conversations and they talk and like, they just want to eat. And in this one, they can still, like, all use their powers pretty adeptly, but, like, none of them can speak. And I think that's super weird. It seems like a very odd choice to me. I don't know.
And then we get to see the shot of Wanda as she goes down and sees that Vision's dead. We get to see some emotion in her face, just a little bit.
If Thanos got bit by a zombie, he would have already had the Reality Stone by the time he got to Earth, right? So, he gets bit by a zombie and just says, not a zombie. It doesn't make any sense why he'd stay a zombie. I don't get it at all. It's so weird.
I mean, I guess Feige kind of took a back seat on this one.
Yeah, this definitely doesn't feel like it's got the same polish.
But anyways, back to the Killmonger episode. I like the idea of the journey Killmonger goes through to do a sort of whatever it takes to get back to Wakanda. And, I thought he was going to kill a lot more people than he did. Mainly like T'Chaka.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more of that kind of stuff too. I thought he did Rhodey super dirty. I think he did Tony super dirty also. And he's a villain, part of that character. Yeah,
because see, in the beginning, I thought like, oh, maybe he's not going the evil route. Maybe it is just him hanging out with Tony, and that kind of changes his life.
That would have been really interesting. That he would have been uplifted by being with somebody so much more positive. But I guess Tony was still in the business of wanting to get people killed. So maybe that's why Killmonger never really got the chance to change himself up.
Yeah, I mean, as we see with his plan, right, it was just to get Tony's money to build the army he needed to be able to sneak into Wakanda.
Which is a lot more convoluted of a plan than the one he actually uses in the movie.
Yeah, kind of crazy, especially like he just thinks like, yeah, Ross is going to get this drone army and we're going to march to Wakanda. I kept thinking like, did people not remember like Wakanda's like a third world country in the MCU until they get revealed? Like, to send an army that size to go attack this small country, like that didn't make any sense.
I guess maybe there was some Killmonger told them about it or something. Like it was like, no, this is what Wakanda actually is.
There's the line that Ross says like, so the rumors were true when they saw the actual city of Wakanda.
Yeah,
that part like just felt off to me. I'm like, oh, I guess sure.
I just think a lot of this episode felt off, and also I don't think the messages are that great. Of this episode, but I don't really want to get into that too much. It's just...
Well, everyone loves Killmonger, Jake. So
okay. Here's the thing: a lot of people also like Thanos, but they also admit that they don't agree with everything he talks about. They just say that they understand it, and I think that that's the same way that a lot of people should feel about Killmonger, and they don't. They just listen to what he has to say and say that that's what people should do. I don't know, guys. That seems a little counterintuitive, but whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. It was great seeing Claw again, though.
Yeah, Claw was great. I both timelines he gets done dirty. I hate it.
Yeah, that sucked. And I guess that was just another way to get in and
Yep.
It's like, okay.
Like, oh, okay. I think it's funny that both timelines, it's just getting Claw to get him in.
I thought for sure Killmonger was going to keep the suit after he killed T'Challa.
Oh, see, that would have been cool.
Yeah, because then to me, I was like, okay, so then he infiltrates Wakanda, and then he just kills the royal family, and then that's how he takes over, kind of thing.
But he had to gain their trust so he could go to the spirit world so that we could have another scene with T'Challa talking about death and stuff.
I thought that was nice just to get that final connection with him and T'Challa.
It's cool.
And it's like, was it worth it and all that stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, like power is going to go to your head and corrupt you, so just be aware, that kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny that he gets the same, like, evil-looking Black Panther suit that he got in the actual movie.
Well, it's weird, right? Because that's just T'Challa's suit. Like, I don't think there's any change to it.
Yeah, but it was also a suit that, like, Shuri made. Because it's the weird gold one that he has at the end of the first movie. Because his suit is slightly different than T'Challa's outfit. Like, it's got more gold inlay stuff going on, and it's got, like, teeth bared on the mask.
Yeah, again, just, I guess, not a lot of thought into some of that's, like, minor details, I guess, that we would notice.
Yeah, they're like, well, what can we make the character model of that people will recognize? And they're like, oh, let's just make the model from the movie that's already there. That way people know it's Killmonger, you know? Can't let him think that he's just become Black Panther. Like, no, he's still the villain or something.
I did like the final bout that he had with Tony, though. Like, that was like when he showed up. It's like, yeah, nothing flew by Tony. Like, he saw everything that happened.
Oh yeah, except Tony forgets that the drone has guns on it.
Yeah, right. It was just hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah,
it was
it's
weird.
like the drone has guns. It has the EMP gun thing. It's got the sonar doodad on it. Like, it's literally got everything you need to just kill a human being, and you don't make it do that. Like, that shouldn't have been an issue. Like, to stop Killmonger. That should not have been a problem. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that was just silly. Because they're definitely firing machine guns in the battle at Wakanda.
Of course, using vibranium as the power, and I'm like, yeah, because it's, magic metal, I guess.
I thought the whole thing of him saying, oh, miniature arc reactor, nah, that's stupid, was very silly.
I mean, I will say I also like the intro scene when T'Challa shows up during the purchase, and just it kind of reminds me of that one scene in the first Black Panther, where they're out in the forest and it's like pitch black and he's just taking people out one by one. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about What If. Just I wish it was better.
Yeah, it's maybe in the next few episodes it'll get more positive. I don't know. I have no idea. I just wish it was better. Also, that's kind of where I'm at. One good episode, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of really it. Like, there's good stuff in other episodes, but as a whole for those episodes, no.
Yeah, I'm not vibing with it. I think it's too kiddie for what it is. I think it's too childy.
We'll see how these last ones flesh out. I think Party Thor hopefully is a good time.
It'll probably be the big moment of levity, and then I'd imagine the end of the episode will have a downward moment, like it'll be like, oh yeah, it's the funnest episode of the season, and then it's like, oh nope.
But all right, time for the big piece of this episode,
the main event,
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, baby, woo! Oh god, I'm so happy this was a good movie. God, I was so worried, but it ended up being real solid, man. I think this is probably one of the better origin movies we've gotten. Definitely liked it. I liked it a lot.
Last episode we talked, you went to the premiere.
Yeah, I got to go to the red carpet event. It was a blast. We met a bunch of the actors and stuff. Now I can finally talk about certain ones like Ben Kingsley Jr. being in there because, he had a pretty big role in this movie. Good, sweet little Morris. Oh, the baby boy. It was just great. It was a wonderful experience, and getting to see the movie in that arena was really, really fun, because everyone was just so hyped on how great the movie was. Felt a lot like coming out of the end of Infinity War, and a little bit like Endgame. A lot like The Flash, too. Like, this premiere gave me or not The Flash, Shazam. This premiere gave me a lot of big Shazam feels. We had a great time. And overall, I would give this movie a nice big 9 out of 10. I think this is a great one. I think there could have been a little... There's only one real thing I think they could have improved on. I guess like 3 things, because 2 of them are dumb joke things.
Yeah, some of the humor I kind of wasn't there for, right? Because it's just like the typical Marvel humor.
Yeah, there's only really 2 moments where it really stuck out to me as being terrible. The rest of it was, I thought, pretty tame in terms of Marvel humor. And the movie also knew, for the most part, when to let the big dramatic moments just ring out and finish. Mm-hmm. Which is something I can't say for something like Black Widow. Black Widow had no self-control in terms of the Marvel jokiness. So this was very refreshing in that sense. Like, it took itself a little bit more seriously than the other stuff has.
Yeah, I like the man. It definitely feels different from what we've been getting in the MCU. Except for the end, where it's like this big CG just thing going on at the end.
But see,
right?
I think that's pretty different, because it's a very focused type of CG fight at the end. We haven't really seen any big battles that are like that at the end of any of these Marvel movies. You know, like I thought it was pretty unique for the MCU to go that route.
Yeah, like some of the complaints I saw for the third act is the fact that we're not doing the close quarter martial arts that we got in the beginning of the movie.
Yes, and that was one of the things where I thought, oh, they could improve this right here if they did more with the masked character guy. The guy in the blue costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they had just one big fight scene right there at the end between him and Shang-Chi, that would have been the cherry on top of the pie, right? That would have been right there. Just have one big martial arts blowout scene between the 2 of them fighting. Magnificent. Would have just capped the movie off really well. Still have what happens to him happen, but have him be like the last person in the way for Shang-Chi to get to his dad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because Razor Fist's already had his good confrontation with Shang, so you don't need another one of those. But overall, what'd you think before we deep dive on the spoilers?
Yeah, I'll just say the biggest thing, and we could talk more about it in the spoiler section, was the trailers did a good job of not revealing a lot of stuff in the movie, I felt like.
I will say that they did a good job of not revealing stuff in the movie until like 2 weeks before its release. My goodness. They showed the post-credit scene in one of the trailers before the movie came out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the whole moment in the post-credit scene is spoiled in a trailer, and I was so mad. It's like, stop it, Disney. Don't do this.
I don't think I saw the final trailer for this one.
It wasn't really like big trailers. It was like when all the TV spots had started popping up. Like all the shorter YouTube clip trailer type of deals. Normally Marvel waits until the movie's out to drop a lot of those, but this time they're like, no, we'll just drop it all now. Really disappointing, because you're building up hype and expectations for certain things in this movie that aren't going to happen.
Yeah, I don't understand why they do that.
You could almost say that these trailers were an abomination.
Okay, from the trailers I saw, yeah, there was like big things that they kept out, which changed a lot of what I thought was going to happen in the movie. And that was nice to have, just like, oh, I don't know where this is going to go, or these characters weren't like I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I think overall, it's really good.
Yes, Simu, he was great as Shang-Chi.
I can't wait to see him interact with more characters from the universe. It makes me really bummed that we'll never see him talk to Captain America or Iron Man. You know, like, I'm like, man, would have been so interesting to see him interact with some of these characters.
Yeah, that sucks.
It would be cool if rumors of certain Daredevils are true, if Iron Fist in some way could come back at some point and be in something with Shang-Chi. Could you imagine if the next movie for Shang-Chi is like a buddy karate movie, like some of the older like ones from like the 60s and 70s, but it was like Shang-Chi and Iron Fist. And like that's the title of the movie, is Shang-Chi and Iron Fist. That's it. No extra subtitle. That's the thing. And it's like a double dragon style movie, because they each have powers of a different dragon.
Yeah, I like that idea. Did you ever watch season 2?
No, I never got around to it. That gets sort of better, right, than season 1?
There's less fighting in season 2.
Okay.
But I like season 2 a lot more than the first season, I think.
Just in terms of character stuff?
Yeah, especially at the very end, like you just said, right? Buddy cop film.
Yeah.
The very end is Danny Rand going on a buddy cop adventure. And like the final scene is, it turns out he still has his powers.
Yes.
And then he just pulls out 2 guns and infuses his chi into the bullets when he shoots them. And it's like, oh, that's great.
That's amazing. Oh, dude, I would love that.
He goes on a journey with Ward, and I forget what they're looking for, the answers for I think the powers or something like that.
Okay.
And that's why they go on a journey, and then they leave. I forget her name, but she inherits the Iron Fist, and she kind of protects New York while Danny Rand's away.
Oh, the lady who runs like the dojo or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, because he gives away his powers to her, and I was like, oh, is that so? This is what they're doing with Danny Rand? Like they're gonna let go because some people said it's like why does Iron Fist need to be a white guy kind of thing or whatever.
Yep.
Finn Jones in season 2, I thought he did a lot better.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good to hear. I remember in that very first episode of Iron Fist, I loved him. I thought he was so perfect in that first episode, and then every episode after that, he's just not the same character anymore.
Yeah, he's a little looser.
Yeah, he starts off as like a hippie. That's perfect. He's just a weird mountain Tibetan man who got raised with monks. This is exactly how he would act. And then by the second episode, he's just become a rich pretty boy again. I don't buy it that much, but okay. Like he becomes far more concerned with his company and his family name and stuff than he does with staying a karate master or whatever. So if there's more of that in season 2, that's cool.
I just remember liking it more than the first one. And I would love to see him come back for sure.
Yeah, and it would be really fun to see him team up with Shang-Chi and see them just have just a fun, just make it like a little bit smaller scale. Like they go to like one place and it's like a building they gotta fight through or something to like find a big bad guy or a boss or whatever. Somebody steals Katie or something, I don't know. Where they steal Morris and Trevor. And they're like, we gotta get Morris and Trevor back.
Yeah, I would like something like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like that would be cool.
But no, overall, yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It was a cool time. There's only one real scene that I have a big problem with, which we could get into in the spoilers.
Okay.
But everything else is solid, man.
I love all the characters. I think the villain in this one's actually really good.
Yes.
Yeah, just all around the writing on this one was like a step up from normal Marvel stuff, I think. Really great. And with that, I think we can get into spoilers. Best fight scene in the movie's on the bus, right?
Yes. Yeah, easily.
I mean, I love the one on the side of the building, too. Like, that one's a really fun one, too. So at the end of the movie, there's a credit. God, what's his name? Brad Allen? The name that they bring up is the guy who choreographed the fight scenes in this movie. And he was Jackie Chan's stunt choreographer. Like, he helped him choreograph a lot of stunts. So that's why a lot of the martial arts in this feel very similar to like Jackie Chan sequences. The bits with the jacket and flipping it around and putting it back on. Some of the falls and the flips and stuff they do on the side of the building feel very Jackie Chan inspired. And that's why, because it was choreographed by that guy. Really cool dude. Loved the work that he put into this movie. And sad that he passed away. Very cool. So I really liked all the martial arts fight scene stuff. The 10 rings. What do you think?
I guess what they're doing with it in a larger scale makes more sense to why they're not mystical rings, but more, I guess, alien technology.
Well, in the comics, they're still alien tech.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're alien tech in the comic books too. Like they're something that falls from space, and that the Mandarin finds and puts on, and then he gains the powers of each ring. I guess the reason they did it this way is so that it didn't feel like the Infinity Stones again. I
guess that's fair. The way they present it, even at the end, it sounds like these are way more powerful than anybody realized.
They sort of give me the One Ring from Lord of the Rings vibe, where it's like everybody thinks that these things can do like this sort of limited set of things. Like oh yeah, they can like shoot you up in the air, and then you can just kind of shoot stuff with them and throw them around and make shields. But, like, there might be more that they can do going forward. Like, maybe Shang-Chi will unlock more powers from the rings.
Yeah, and maybe that's what they're saving it for.
That could be. That would be cool. That would be a good way to upgrade Shang-Chi's power set too as the movies go forward with him. So that way he can keep participating in the big battles and stuff.
Which again is one of those things in the trailers that I thought went one way but didn't, right? With the scene with the water in the air. That's not because of the rings, that's just this map going on.
Yeah. Which I thought was kind of neat. It's like a mystical flower map to get to the village of Ta Lo.
Yeah, so that was a nice surprise. I'm like, oh, okay, so that wasn't just part of the ring's power, which, again, it kind of sucks, but if they are going to save the other abilities the rings can do, then I guess that's fine.
Do you think they're from Kang? Because they're signaling something.
Yeah, I didn't really know what that would prelude to as far as the MCU's setup for anything.
What if it's Galactus?
The part of me thought that too. Yeah, I don't know, because they've been there for so long, and I guess they were emitting the signal the whole time, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting to think about what those could be signaling to, but I don't have a definite thing about it.
The way they used them in the movie, I thought was cool.
Yeah,
it was very anime, I would say. I like the different ways Shang-Chi's father used them.
Yeah, like I liked how he used them as like shields, and then he would propel himself, and then just use them as like projectile weapons here and there. Very neat. Very cool stuff.
Especially at the end with the last fight between him and Shang-Chi, and they both get 5 rings each, and we're fighting like that.
And then Shang-Chi gets all of them, and he almost does a Kamehameha, and I'm like, oh, okay. Obviously, these people want to make a Dragon Ball movie.
And I guess maybe that's where the other aspects of the rings come in, because he started using the chi techniques his mother used.
Yep.
That the Mandarin never got, so that could be a thing too.
Yeah, that's true. Gosh, yeah, what a great time.
Strong opening too, with the introduction of was it Wen
Wu,
and then meeting his mom and just like that fight scene. I was like, oh, this feels like Crouching Tiger kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like, I'm loving it.
Gosh, that was so good. And the way she just like flies around him and like dodges and ducks, and I'm just like, woo, this is fun. And then like they're both just smiling at each other, and the tension is so strong. It's such a fun scene that makes you forget how evil this guy is, which I really like about this, is that they really make you very sympathetic towards Wen Wu, even though he's literally like the worst person on the planet.
Yeah, I like that, because at first when he was talking to Shang-Chi about like his mother's still alive over there, I was like, I don't know, like that kind of sounds like it's just a ruse to go invade kind of thing, like he still has other intentions to go there, but no, it's really just this man who wants his wife back.
He's just in complete grief over what happened, and it's all because of him that it did happen too. That's the other part, is that he can't, like, because of his interactions with other gangs and all that kind of stuff, that's why she ends up getting killed in the first place.
And that's where my problem lies in this movie.
Oh yeah?
The flashback scene of when she dies, like, to me just made no sense at all, because when we get there, like when we see them getting to that village in the beginning, and then when they take Shang-Chi there, like it's secluded in the mountains. Like there's really no way to get there besides helicopter or the route that they know how to get to, like via trucks. And then just this random gang that works at this gambling hall just walks in, and there's like nobody else there. And then that's how they kill his wife. Like, to me, I'm like, that makes no sense at all of how they would even know how to get there.
It's supposed to be during the time period when Wen Wu put down the rings and just decided to become like a regular guy. Like he forsook all of the evil stuff he was doing, like the Ten Rings organization and deal. I take that to mean that like there probably wasn't anybody there.
But the problem for me still lies that they live in the mountains over there.
That's true.
Right? It's not like they went down to like a village or anything like that.
Yeah, I guess it just would have needed to be in a different setting than that mountain palace deal.
If he downscaled and went somewhere else to go live a normal life when he put the rings away, that I would be more okay with it. But the fact that they just waltz into this fortress, and yeah, I mean, sure, I guess nobody's there. Like they all just, I don't know, went somewhere else until he called them back. But yeah, to me, that part was like, that just feels too forced, I guess. Like maybe if like they went somewhere and the gang recognized, like, oh wait, I know who that is. That's so-and-so's
wife.
Like
if they had all been like on vacation or something. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we went to Disney World or something. I don't know. They like, Yeah, they could have been out and about, like down in a village or something, and gotten recognized and maybe followed back. You know, like maybe there needed to be a little bit more setup to it.
Yeah, I mean, that was my only real problem. But I get it, like, you needed that to set up the rest of everything going on in the film.
Yeah. I love all the training stuff with Shang-Chi. I think that's really interesting.
With his aunt, or in the flashbacks?
In the flashbacks, like just how brutal it is.
Yes.
Like all that stuff is so good. Man, and that's why I was really bummed that evil blue suit guy just gets killed. Just like out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, because when he first showed up in the present, I was like, oh, cool, this is the rematch after so many years. Like, what's going to happen? It gets halted because his father shows back up. But, yeah, I think another rematch would have been good.
Yeah, like a final fight right before, like, his dad, like, punches through the door or something. But at that point, like, Shang-Chi was in the water already.
And I'm fine with his aunt fighting that guy at the end, too.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's okay.
Xia Ling fighting him would have been good too. Like the sister would have been good.
Yeah,
like
that would have been good.
Like if the fight had been between those two, because it's like she was watching Shang-Chi do all the same training and stuff, and was like teaching herself through that, and it would have been an interesting deal to finally have her go up against the guy in the blue outfit and be like, "This is for my brother!" Like, and then she like just decks him and takes him out, and
then also proves to him that like even girls can train like that too.
Yep.
Type of thing, because that was kind of like the point of her character.
Yeah, and look at how they handled that idea, right? That the girl can't train, and then they show her like doing something with that and becoming a stronger person and learning from it. Unlike another movie that made that a big deal.
Yeah, no tantrums.
Yeah, no tantrums from Xia Ling. She just figures out how to. She does it. I'm like, that's how you do a good female character, man. This is, she's just a good character first, and then a female second. That's how you do it. She's just a good character. I liked her a lot. I thought she was great. And yeah, just not in the trailers at all, but still really good.
Yeah, I was impressed, man. Like, she just wasn't in anything. I was like, oh wow, yeah, because that kind of changes the story up.
Yep.
You know, like I said, I know nothing about Shang-Chi, so I didn't even know he had a sister.
Yeah, neither did I. I had no idea. And I liked that her whole bit of the movie when she first gets introduced is she's running a freaking fighting ring, like an underground fight ring. And I'm like, this is the most anime thing. This is so good. Like,
yeah, and her reasoning too, right? It's just like, well, if I can't take over my father's enterprise, I'll just make my own.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like, that's such a great... It's so anime. Like, the whole movie's very anime. In terms of how it tells its story and stuff too. Very well done. And I guess I want to keep talking about good stuff. I'll bring up bad stuff later. I want to keep talking about the good things about the movie because I just have so much to say. It's good. It's so good.
I really like the dynamic with Shang-Chi and Katie.
Yeah. I love their characters. I think they're probably one of the best pairings we've gotten in a while in the MCU, and they're like a really good, like, just positive breath of fresh air from all the depressing stuff we've been getting. They're just genuinely happy people. That's cool to see.
And again, I speculated before that, oh, so she's from the village based off the toys and stuff. Like, I thought this was just a person he met in the outside world, and sure enough it was. Yeah, she just tagged along for the rest of the movie.
I honestly never thought that she overstayed her welcome. She never became too overbearing in a comedic way, you know what I mean? Like, she was very...
Yeah, no.
She had a very even performance. Like, it was very well balanced. I thought it was very good. Had just the right amount of snarky one-liners and just the right amount of nice, quiet, just pensive moments. And I'm like, Awkwafina's a pretty good actress. She's pretty good. She's pretty good, gotta say. She did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, I've always heard she did a good job in one of the other movies she did.
She's really funny in Jumanji 2.
Oh, is she in 2?
Or 3? It's technically 3, yeah, but...
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, but...
Welcome to the Jungle?
Yes.
No, not Welcome to the Jungle.
Is it Welcome to the Jungle?
I think it's Next Level? Oh, no, it is Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah, she's in this one, and she's hilarious. At one point, she's being controlled by a more bland character, so her performance is kind of whatever. But then at another point, she starts becoming controlled by Danny DeVito, and It's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Her Danny DeVito impression is magnificent. And there's like one part in this movie, like it's when she's getting ready when Shang-Chi goes to like get her in the morning for their job or whatever near the beginning, and she just like scrambles across the hallway like a gremlin, and she's just like, I'm coming. And I'm just like, oh, there's Danny DeVito.
That's great.
I was just like, beautiful. I love it. And it's like, that's like, I don't know. And I loved the whole bit of like the grandma asking them when they're getting married. And I've talked to other people who I know who are like friends of mine who are Asian, and they're like, oh yeah, no, that happens all the time. Like that's a very real Asian joke. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, their relationship is really strong. Really positive too.
What is it? I like the surprise at the end, I think, with Shang-Chi's character of the reveal that he actually did kill that person.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting, that he actually did go through with the assassination.
That's not something you would normally see with these kind of characters.
No, like especially very heroic ones too. Like Shang-Chi's supposed to be like the main hero, but he still has a dark spot in his past. He's got red in his ledger.
Yeah, because once he revealed that on the plane that like, yeah, no, I didn't kill him and ran away, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But the fact that he did kill the guy and then ran away anyways. Yeah, that's interesting.
I liked it a lot. And that's one of those moments where a normal Marvel movie would have made like 3 jokes throughout that scene. And instead, Katie just gets to be nice and pensive and just gets to listen to him. And it's an actually dramatic moment. Oh my God, they did it. They had a dramatic moment in the movie and it didn't get undercut by a joke.
I think the plane scene took those jokes, right? Like that scene took the hits for that.
I'll talk about that in a little bit when we get to the bad stuff. Yeah. When we get to the bad bits. I liked both the Wong cameos. I thought were pretty good. I love the idea that Wong goes to the raft and just randomly grabs bad guys and takes them out for sparring sessions.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. That was the question around, like, why is Abomination here? It's like, oh no, because he's just there for like a rehabilitation thing, I guess. Maybe.
There's no real explanation for it. And supposedly Tim Roth played him.
I mean, yeah, if you want to do the grunts,
I guess
that's just an afternoon in a booth,
or just going back to the old movie and grabbing sound clips.
Yeah.
I don't know, that news item. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I guess he played him, but I thought that was a really interesting, just little thing. Like Wong has some cool little personality things in this movie. He's more than just the librarian at Camartage or whatever.
Well, it makes more sense to me, too, once I saw the raft. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, after Endgame and stuff, like, I'm sure him and Strange are working more with the Avengers and stuff.
Oh, yeah, and, like, getting out and doing more stuff and everything. Probably way more connected to what's going on with everybody. That post-credit scene, there's good and bad.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I was very confused why Doctor Strange wasn't there. Like, I don't know why he couldn't be. Like, why not have both?
Yeah, I thought Strange was going to be there when they started talking about the rings, and like maybe Strange was analyzing it himself.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking was happening, but just Wong.
I guess because it'd be too crowded with the other characters that popped up.
Yeah, I guess so. Which, one of them, whatever.
Yeah, so it was Captain Marvel, it was Bruce Banner.
And then Wong.
It makes sense for them to be there, alien tech, and then just Banner just being Banner himself.
Yeah. Which I think was interesting, because I thought that was the whole point of Endgame, was that he gained control of Hulk. I don't know. I guess they'll explain it in She-Hulk, I'd imagine.
He's Banner now, not Hulk. His arm is still injured, right? That's a permanent thing. I think they mentioned that after Endgame, right?
Yeah, they show
like an interview or something.
And they show him having the sling while he's at the funeral and stuff.
But yeah, and then Captain Marvel's there, and
then she's got to go again. It's pretty convenient that she constantly has a thing to go do off screen.
And see, it wouldn't feel as bad if we had maybe one more movie where she has to deal with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Captain Marvel itself, she doesn't really deal with like something that's like part of the galaxy's problem, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. So just to have her saying like, oh, I gotta go again, right? Because she already did that in Endgame. So to do it again, it's just weird.
Yeah, her cameos are so non-meaningful to me. Like, they don't mean anything. We don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Like, we're not going to know until the Marvels.
Yeah.
But if they stay on Earth, then we still won't know.
It's kind of silly. But I like seeing Banner again. That was cool. He looks really old.
Yeah, he aged up.
Yeah.
Because that's just Mark Ruffalo in real life. Yeah, they aged the Banner pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's been only 12 years since Avengers in the MCU timeline, I think.
Is that it?
Yeah, because that was 2012, right? And they're in 2024.
Because this is after the 5-year stuff, obviously, like the snap and the...
They confirmed it's set 8 months after Endgame.
Oh, okay, cool. Boy, it sure is great that we got to have like a whole thing where we saw Banner turn into Smart Hulk and then have like a bunch of scenes going through that and all that stuff. Isn't that great? Oh, wait, we didn't get that. Oh, man. Okay, whatever. But I like that post-credit scene. I can't say that I really cared too much about the second post-credit scene.
Oh, right. I almost forgot.
I don't really care about that one too much. I mean, it's cool. I don't know. It's interesting.
When it was playing, the first thing I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that was her goal all along.
It was to take over the family business, yeah.
And it's not like the movie would have changed her mind.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so I wonder if she will be a villain at some point, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a weird part for me. But whatever, I mean, it's cool. I guess it's like a sort of a teaser for the second movie.
Well, it's also a thing like you have to fill the power gap with somebody.
Yeah, that's true. I guess a part of me just wondered if Shang-Chi was going to take over it because he has the namesake of the group.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not interested in that stuff anyways, though.
That's true,
right?
yeah,
like,
he's more of a regular kind of dude.
I mean, like, we see him do the karaoke stuff. Yeah, which I have to say, when they did it a second time with Wong.
Oh,
that was great.
magnificent. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I just love that Wong goes and sings karaoke. Like, that's awesome. And I just love that it's a nice callback to the early one. You're stepping into a new world and it's going to take a lot out of you, so you guys should go home and get some rest. Or that's so good.
Yeah, there was good callbacks
Yep.
in this movie to previous scenes
Yep.
that I really liked.
We've been talking about all these other main characters for so long, but I think we have to talk about the shining star, the scene stealer, Trevor, and his little butt chicken friend Morris. I love them both so much.
So I saw a leak of him being in the movie.
Yeah, I remember that one where it was like him in like one of the outfits from the village.
Yeah, and like with no context, I was thinking, oh, so was he actually like part of whatever was going on with the Mandarin and all that?
Yep.
But when Wu started talking about the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, I was like, oh, okay, they're doing this smart. I like it. And then we see he's actually did get taken prisoner after the Marvel one shot.
Yeah, like that's currently the only canon Marvel one shot right now. I mean, I'm sure the other ones are soft canon. I think that's the only one that has direct reference in any of the movies.
Yeah, but he was great. Like through and through, like it was just a good time.
His introduction is just like exactly the same as Iron Man 3. He just gets caught like acting and then like I love the idea they brought back one of those little spirit creatures. Everyone at that base probably knows about it, but when Wu has told everyone, make Trevor think it's not there. Like, make him think it's fake so we can make him crazier, because it's funny, because I like that. I'm like, there's just an element of that subtext storytelling that I'm really into.
Yeah, it was just great seeing him on screen the whole time. Even in the scene when he played dead.
Yeah. And then Morris, like, walks over to him and is like, what happened? And
he's all
like,
sad, yeah.
He's like, I'm just playing. And then Morris flips over and is like, ah. Yeah, Madison already bought a plush of Morris, so we have our own Morris at home.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
He's very soft, very cute. And yeah, they were just wonderful to see on screen. I loved the Iron Man 3 references. I like that they finally, like, actually acknowledged that it exists in one of these movies. And I guess if any movie was going to acknowledge it, it was going to be this one. Did you catch the, like, there's the Iron Man 3 reference, obviously, when Wu's talking about it, but did you catch the other one?
Oh gosh, gotta refresh my memory on that one.
Oh, it's in the fight scene, the Fight Club scene, when they're going past all the different like little mini rooms where people are fighting. There's one where somebody's fighting a dude with the extremist serum. Like he's doing the glowing stuff and he's like shooting fireballs and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, they brought back extremists. It's still around. And I think there was some reference to who was fighting him. Somebody else important from the MCU, and I don't remember who. But if I figure it out later, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I forgot who he was fighting to, but no, that was a good callback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty neat. I was very excited. And then, you know, the fight scene between Abomination and Wong is cool, and I like I like Razor Fist's car.
Yeah, which is in one of the posters, which I mentioned in our chat. Like, that's just weird to see a car in a poster.
I mean, it's pretty iconic for the movie. Like, it's like it's their travel vehicle that they steal from the guy, you know?
I just think with the context of like all the Marvel car ads recently too.
Oh yeah, it's definitely really strange in that sense. But yeah, I dug it. I was like, yeah, that's cool that he's got this crazy car. You know what? Razor Fist should have been played by Jai Courtney. I'm just throwing it out there. It should have been Jai
Yeah,
Courtney.
he could have done it well.
I felt like Razor Fist wanted so bad to be an over-the-top, like, scene-stealing bad guy. Like, he seemed like he could have just had a totally different level of swagger, especially with, like, what his car looked like. And it almost makes me wonder if they tried to get Jai Courtney, like that was, like, their original intent, and then they couldn't. Let's just find a guy who looks like him. This dude has been in, like, 5 things, and that's it. And one of them was Creed 2 as Victor Drago. He fights Creed in Creed 2.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of neat. The character just felt so well set up to be Jai Courtney. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, either that or he would fit into Bloodshot pretty well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be perfect.
I really like the dynamic between Shang-Chi and his dad. A lot of great scenes that just came out between those two talking.
Yeah, that's what I liked about this movie too, is that there's a lot of good talking scenes in it. There's a lot of really good just people having good conversations, and they're well shot. I don't know. I was like, Marvel movies don't normally take the time to slow down and let the characters just communicate.
Especially for a majority of the film.
It was a good change of pace. And I know a lot of people complained about that like the second act was a little slow and like just a lot of people talking. And I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of nice because we get to know who they are as characters and we get to see them interact. It's not just like exposition. It's them actually having like real conversations, and I'd rather have that personally. But overall, I thought the relationship between Wenwu and Shang-Chi was really good. I really like the scene where like it's after the mom dies and he takes Shang-Chi to the place where the people who killed the mom are, and he just
yes.
freaking murders them all. I was like, whoa, brutal, man.
And just to see some of those interactions like through the reflection of the glass.
Yeah.
Like that was a great touch to it as well.
Man, that was great. I was like, oh man, this is a very brutal scene. I loved the final fight between the Dweller in the Deep and the dragon. I thought all of that stuff was great. There's like the big, huge, wide shot of when the Dweller in the Deep has the dragon by the mouth, and they're just like flying straight up in the air. It looks like a Magic the Gathering piece of art. It's just like, this is amazing. There hasn't been anything like this in the MCU. This is so cool. What a precedent this sets for doing stuff like Fin Fang Foom later, Shuma Gorath at some point. I'm all about it. I thought the little weird demon dragon things that suck out souls were freaking scary. It super reminded me of the Final Fantasy movie. Don't know if you've ever seen that one.
The first one, the Spirits Within?
Yeah, the Spirits Within. Like,
yeah, I haven't seen that
one.
Oh,
man. Well, the way that people die in that movie is they get their souls, like, ripped out of their bodies by, like, the spirit creatures that are, like, invading the planet or whatever. And it's very similar to how people lose their souls in this one. And I loved just how Cthulhian this thing felt. Like, it was, like, this just total cosmic horror monster, like, that's just unexplainable in how it works or functions. And I love that the deaths last in this movie. Like, there's no coming back from this thing. The people who die have died. And I thought that was really cool that there are lasting consequences to what happened in this film. Like, I would love to see Wenwu come back, but I don't need him to. I think he got through his arc. He did his story.
Yeah, I thought it was great the way he went out.
Yep.
By passing on the rings, because, you know, that to me that says that's a callback to the earlier scene where he says, when you're ready, you know, you'll inherit these rings. Yep. Mainly so that way they don't get eaten, but also I think that's a way of him saying, like, you're ready to accept the responsibility of wielding.
Like, you've shown me through this fight that we've had that you can control this and you're ready for it.
The moment after where his sister sees him wearing the rings, and so she knows that, their dad is dead.
Yep.
Oh, well, then she looks at the body.
Yeah,
too.
she sees the body too.
Right,
yeah. And I thought it was really interesting that because Wenwu has been like alive for like 2,000 years or whatever, that it took so much longer for his soul to get sucked out because it was just so much more full than other people's. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I figure like his soul was more powerful.
Yeah, that too.
Than the average, right?
Yeah, it's great stuff. Like there's a lot of great stuff.
I mean, I will say I was surprised about the twist of him being controlled, or at least convinced that his wife was still trapped there.
And that's part of that Cthulhian stuff that I really liked about it. Like he was falling to the madness of the voices in his head, telling him to come and open a gateway to the darkest realm. And I was like, man, there's some good stuff in this. This is great. I love how spooky this is. Like it's a great job of actually being like really scary and making this monster very intimidating as a character. And I love when it breaks out and it's still using like the mom's voice as it like screams as it comes out, and I'm like,
yeah,
spooky.
that was great.
That's so scary. Oh man, that was great.
I'm not gonna lie, for a split second, I thought when the aunt walked out of the crowd in the village, I thought that was their mom.
Yeah, I had a thought about that too. I was like, oh, the mom's still alive, and it's like, no, she's
I was
dead.
like, oh, so he wasn't crazy.
But no, she's definitely dead. I'm her sister. I also kind of dug that like them getting their costumes like at the end was just kind of a very like casual moment. I liked that there wasn't like a big suit up scene. It was just like, we made these for you in case you showed up. And I love that they're made out of the dragon scale stuff. Like it's Shang-Chi's is made out of the red scales and Xia Ling's is made out of the white scales from the dragon. So they're each a part of it. Like because they're brother and sister, they have like the deeper connection and they can both control the dragon to an extent, which I thought was really neat. And the dragon was really cool looking. I thought that looked great.
Yeah, I think all the designs for the creatures were solid.
My God, it's like night and day between this and Black Panther. Like, in terms of like their final act CG things going on, like holy moly! Like I don't understand how this movie did it so good while that one did it so bad.
Well, to be fair, on Black Panther's end, the VFX team only had 6 weeks to do it.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. They were pretty rushed.
Yeah,
and Shang-Chi probably had it. Just because of COVID, they probably had a lot more time to be like, yeah, let's just finish the effects a lot more. We got time.
Yeah.
Why not? We got extra time. Let's make it look really, really good.
Yeah, I like that the creatures, like in the village, walking around, like the lion dog and all the other ones, like, they didn't try to make it look super realistic, because you could just obviously tell they're CG.
Yeah.
But I think that's fine, right? Because they're mythical
beings
and
anyway. They leaned into, like, the stylization of that, which I thought was which was, I thought, really effective. Because it does signify you're not in the regular world anymore once you're in this area. Like you've transferred over to somewhere different. I like the bit at the beginning where Wenwu's like in the truck going to try and find this place, and like the truck gets attacked by the trees and then gets thrown off a cliff, and Wenwu's the only guy who gets out, and he just watches it go, and he's like, like he doesn't care about the guys that were with him at all. Like he's like, I've seen so many people die. Who cares? I'm like, that's interesting character trait for Wenwu. His value of life is just so meaningless for him. And I like that it's all a story that the mom is telling Shang-Chi at the beginning. Like that it's all like this like mystical tale about how his parents met and stuff. And I don't know. That's I think that's a lot of the good stuff that I want to say about it. I don't know.
One thing I am curious is what's Katie's future as a character is going to be, because when she's in the village, she is talking about how she's just kind of lost in life and doesn't know what to do, and then she finds that, she's actually good in archery.
Yeah.
And all that. But, they go back to just the normal world. Well, until, Wong shows up, but...
Yeah, I'm very curious about how that's going to work out. Because obviously she doesn't control any 10 rings, so she could very easily die. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where she goes as a person. So I'm going to bring up my two big issues with this movie.
Yes.
One is the airplane scene. It's so good until the stupid woman asks them about beef. This is the dumbest part of the movie. I hate this. It took me out of it completely. I was like, who made the decision to even shoot this scene? Like, what was why? It could have just been a moment where the lady comes over and says, please put your tray table back up, sir. One line, just to pull them out for a second. That's all you need. But also, it shows to me that Marvel has no confidence in actually doing a dramatic moment still. Like, they got at least one in this movie with him and Katie talking on the little waterfront deal, but that's the only time. They were too scared to let this moment be serious because it was about a kid being whipped and tortured into learning how to fight.
I mean, the scene definitely did go too long.
Yep.
And it really took me out too. I was like, oh, I guess it's to show that they're on the plane as well. But
you want to know what would have been a great way to cut to that? When he says, and my name is Shang-Chi, and then she goes, Shang, as you hit as Sean, and then that's what pulls them out of the story. And then go to that joke. There's a way better way to do that transition and not have a really awkward, terrible joke that goes on for 5 minutes and takes up like just enough screen time to make me so annoyed. So bad.
That's definitely one of the few scenes where I was like, there's that Marvel humor. Like, I hope that's not in here throughout the film.
And it wasn't. But it was, oh man, that scene made me real worried for a minute. I was like, oh no, we're getting into this territory. Here we go. But no, the rest of the comedy was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fine.
Until my second problem with the film, my second biggest scene that I hate and I don't like, the transition from the funeral back to the bar. Absolutely terrible cut. It's the most dramatic set piece of the entire film. It's the emotional resonance that the movie needs. Have it fade out and then go to the bar. Don't just hard cut. My God. That took me out like super hard. Like right at the very end.
Oh man, remind me, Jake, which was their mom's funeral?
No. It's the very end of the movie. Like after everyone's died, right? And they're putting the little boats with the fires on the water to like release the spirits, and it's this very big dramatic moment for all of the characters in the film, and it's got this huge emotional resonance, and as it's panning out and away, it goes cut, and Shang-Chi's just talking about it at the bar. And I'm like, this is quite possibly the worst transition in the entire film. Holy moly. How did you mess this up? You had it. You had a perfect ending. Like, to just end there. Fade out. That's it. Just fade to black and come back up with an establishing shot of the bar and then them talking about it. But this hard cut to make it a comedic transition, terrible. I was so mad.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just a callback to the beginning of the movie too, right? So I guess that's why that's there like that, but
yeah, I guess so, but it came off as very a little tasteless in my opinion in the way that it was cut. It is what it is, I guess, at this point. But like I said, those are my real only two big issues with the movie. Like that's it. There's everything else is spectacular. I think Simu Liu is a great addition to the MCU, and I'm really excited to see him in more of these movies.
Yeah, I like that they didn't waste time with having him thrown into the MCU world.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, no, because what you have is a big deal, you're in now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
And that was another big thing I liked about this, is that, yes, there are like slight cameos by characters from the overall MCU, little references and stuff, but this is its own movie. Like, this movie is just by itself. Like, you don't need to see any other Marvel movies to understand what's happening in this one. It's such a good standalone movie, and I'm like, this is what we need more of, I think. we need the movies to be more like this one and less like Captain America Civil War, where it's just another Avengers movie.
Whenever Shang-Chi 2 happens and whatever the story is going to be, I'm sure there'll be way more connections to the MCU than what we have now.
Oh yeah, there'll be a little bit more going on.
But I think that's just the nature of what it's become now. Like, sure, like Civil War is just another Avengers movie, but it's still kind of mainly about Steve At least for like the Winter Soldier stuff.
Yeah.
And like his decisions. Yeah, and then, you know, with Doctor Strange 2, you're going to have to watch all the other films and show, you know, Loki as well and WandaVision before you dive into there. But I don't mind because so far it's not like I need to watch something I don't like.
Yep.
At least for now. Like, I mean, sure, when I'm not going to watch Captain America 4 probably, but if I was going to watch it, and it's like, well, I guess good thing I watched Captain or whatever, Winter Soldier
Falcon
show.
and Winter Soldier.
I don't remember. Yeah, Falcon.
Wow,
Winter
you don't
Soldier.
even remember that his name's Falcon anymore, huh? It's already gotten to you. They've done it. The programming's real. They did it to you, Danny.
But like, if I never watched that show, and like, I'm like, I don't want to watch that show if I have to watch Captain America 4.
Yeah.
Type of thing, right? So at least we're not at that point yet.
Yep.
Like, oh, make sure you watch Captain Marvel before you watch this other movie she's gonna be in. I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah, no, I don't need to do any of that. Yeah, Shang-Chi is also like kind of what I wish more of Phase 4 was a lot more origin stories for new people. And that's sort of what it is, because but the next one's going to be like 13 people.
Oh, Spider-Man?
Oh, no, I was talking about the Eternals.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's actually next.
Yeah, Eternals comes out before Spider-Man, which is weird because nobody's going to go watch that one at all. I don't think Eternals is going to do well in any way.
I mean, I guess people are excited, but...
Are they?
I mean...
Who?
I don't know. I was interested because of the actors, but...
If anybody out there has listened to this far, and you like the Eternals, and you're excited for it, I genuinely want to know what the deal is. Please send us an email. Tell me why you're stoked for that movie, because I need to know why anyone would be remotely excited for it.
Well, you know what's funny is... I'm glad that... what's it? Simu Lee? That's his name, right?
Simu Liu.
He's having some fun with the reactions of Shang-Chi.
His social media game is so strong right now, man. I've been getting a real kick out of everyone finding his old stock images that he made, that he like modeled for. It's pretty great.
But like, so he's having fun with it, right? Because there was a lot of YouTube videos from people saying like, is Shang-Chi gonna be the MCU's first flop?
Oh yeah, I remember that happening.
I remember seeing those thinking like, you know, I was hoping it would be good, but I never think it would be a flop.
No, I never expected this one to flop at all. Like this seemed so fresh in comparison to a lot of the other stuff coming out that I was like, nah, this will be good.
Yeah, but I'm surprised they say that for Shang-Chi, but not for Eternals, because I think Eternals will probably flop.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I think after this, the Eternals is going to be like one of the most boring superhero movies. And it doesn't help that, like, oh yeah, because the newest trailer for Eternals showed the laser eye vision.
Oh, that's where everyone was saying, like, oh, Marvel made Man of Steel 2 first.
Well, it looks just like Zack Snyder stuff. Like, it looks exactly like a Zack Snyder movie. And I'm like, you can't deny that. Like, it's literally ripped, like, angle to angle. It looks exactly like the fight at the end of Man of Steel 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally just only in it for the Stark boys and Angelina Jolie. Like, I could kind of care less about everybody else in there.
Yep.
I mean, Salma Hayek, you know, because she's great, but...
Yeah. But everybody else, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be watching this opening weekend. I don't think.
I think the only way I'll watch it for opening weekend stuff is if they invite me to the premiere again. That's it. That's the only reason I'd show up.
I'll catch it like on a cheap day at the theater.
Or just wait for it to drop to Disney Plus.
But all in all, yeah, glad that this movie was a banger. I'm really hoping more movies could feel as refreshing as this one in the future.
I'm real excited for more. Because of how successful this one is, it's definitely going to have Marvel probably make a little bit of a shift in how some of these newer movies are going to be coming out. And I'm really excited for that, because if more movies can be like Shang-Chi, it's going to be a good time. We're going to have, it'll probably be another good set of Marvel movies again. Because this gave me such good, like, Phase 2 vibes. Like very positive Phase 2 vibes. Like, I'd put this one up around the same level as, like, Ant-Man 1. Like, like, good separate story, new origin for a character, like, really solid plot, good time, fun characters, like...
Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna... I hope that's what they do with the new movies that aren't sequels. because they just, with a sequel, you can't help but stay the same form as the prior movie. And with, Marvel, they just announced that 4 new untitled movies coming out for 2024.
Yep. So
hopefully some of those are going to have the same type of passion as this one does.
That would be great. And this felt like a movie where they were like, there's obviously the studio mandated jokes in there that neither of which I liked. For the most part, this felt pretty studio free in terms of what it was.
Yeah, because it definitely doesn't have that copy paste feel.
Yeah. I don't know if I really have too much else to say about it. I just really liked it, and I think everyone should go see it if you can.
Yeah, can't wait to grab this up on Blu-ray.
Same here. This one's definitely going in the Blu-ray collection.
So, all right, guys, with that, we could go ahead and wrap up for this episode. We'll be back real soon to talk about all that news that popped up since we've been gone.
Yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot.
I mean, I could just say I'm excited for DC Fandom next month.
Oh, yeah. Ah, man, all the teasers and stuff they've been putting up about that. Woo, boy, it's looking... I think it's going to be good. And speaking of DC, I secured my copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League on Blu-ray. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's finally
so
out. I need to get mine still.
Only 1 copy left at my local Target, by the way. Thought that was cool. I was like, oh, everybody bought a copy.
Yeah, that was the greatest thing about seeing. I think it was hashtag Bring the Snyderverse Home or something.
Yeah.
It was something along the lines, and I was just going through it on Twitter and just seeing everyone saying like, yeah, it's just sold out everywhere you go. And
I love it. I love it. I'm definitely going to be watching it this coming week, I think, again on Blu-ray. I gotta watch it on the disc.
Do you know if there's any bonus features and stuff on it?
There is a single bonus feature, and it's a featurette part about Zack Snyder talking about how he made his trilogy. This DVD case and design of disc was definitely done by Warner Brothers studio heads, because this is painting it like they're never going to let Zack Snyder make another one of these again. There's no other bonus features on it. There's nothing. Like, this feels like a very final disc.
Well, I guess because they put everything in the movie, and that's why it's 4 hours, right? So I guess there wouldn't be extra stuff.
I don't really know what deleted scenes they'd put in. I'm sure if Zack had the option, he would have put the Green Lantern deleted footage on there. He probably wasn't allowed.
Oh, I wonder if this would have the We Live in a Society scene.
No, it doesn't. Because there is an ad inside the case for you to watch Justice League Gray on HBO Max. It's only in the gray version of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the extended cut. But yeah, this DVD don't have it, which is a bummer.
Well, I guess because the Justice League is Gray's not on there either, right?
No,
so.
It's just the regular movie. The 4K edition might have the gray version. I just got the regular Blu-ray, though. So I don't know if the 4K has more on it. I just wanted a copy of it on Blu-ray. So I was just like, it doesn't bother me if I don't get everything for it. So we'll see what happens in the future. I mean, if these DVD sales are just going buku bucks, it's just another indicator for them to do something about it.
Well, I mean, plus the streaming numbers.
Oh my God.
That it had too.
Yep.
Right? Like, they were massive.
Just keep your ears to the ground. Who knows? Maybe they'll have a surprise at the Fandom.
So, all right, guys. Yeah, we'll be back again real soon. Talk about all that good stuff. And until then, Jake, where can we go find you at?
You guys can find me anywhere on the internet at Corruption Cosplay with K's. Like I said, I've been having some rough patches with the life stuff lately. I'm on the other side of it, so I've started posting again on Instagram. I've got like a new job. Gonna keep working on the Power Rangers series, so just waiting for some prop stuff to come in so we can get my next character on the show set up. So check out Shattered Past on YouTube, over at Crimson Vision Studios YouTube channel, and all of the other Power Rangers content they got to offer. They're making lots of stuff. They're making lots and lots of stuff. So just keep checking it out. Otherwise, Danny, where can we find you?
Yes, as always, you could find me at Negator7 anywhere on social media. Lately, I've just been doing some manga edits. And then, of course, the other podcast, Unverse Podcast, you can catch me over there. And then just quick update for this show in particular. Some episodes that got taken down, they're back up. I still have to comb through the rest, see what's missing, and then put them back up. So that would be like the Venom review, and then just Suicide Squad with the David Ayer one. And then, when I was combing through, I was like, you know what, why not just go back to form? So the episodes could be numbered now. So it started with last week. So this one is 216.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't think we were that high in the numbers.
We've got there's a lot of episodes.
Of course, Marvel Talk Cast on Instagram, so you can stay updated when the episodes drop. And then again, Marvel Talk Podcast at gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, especially about Eternals, want to hear whose excitement's where with that film.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious about if you're excited about it, why. I really want to know. I genuinely want to know. And not in like a mean way. I would like to understand the perspective of a person that's excited for that movie.
So thank you again, guys. And as always,
it's pizza time!